Yes, it's another Monday. Welcome to the Growth Podcast. Appreciate the love. I'm waving. Don't see anyone. As always, welcome back to another episode of the Growth Podcast. I am David Rocker, your host, and I know a lot of you are saying, hey, D-Rock, what happened to the Grow Podcast last week? Last week was just one of those weeks when, as they say, life gets to life, and I was called for jury duty, and I did not have to stay, but it was just one of those things that almost slipped my mind. So I just did not have time to get the Grow Podcast in. But listen, we're going to let bygones be bygones, and guess what? We're going to enjoy today's episode. Today's episode is just, today was a great day. Let me start off by saying this. Yesterday, I have to go back. Yesterday was a great day because I had a lot of my friends from Auburn University come and worship with me at the Connection Church where I'm the senior pastor. Yesterday was our Jersey Sunday. So that's when you can wear your favorite sports gear, whatever team, that's your favorite team. It was your Sunday to rep that gear. So, of course, I had a lot of Falcon gear. There's a lot of Falcons gear all around. Saints, I mean, you name it. All the NFL teams and Atlanta Hawks and college teams were there. But one of the things that I did, I reached out to all of, I'm not going to say all, but to a lot of my friends who I know from Auburn University, and I invited them to come to Jersey Sunday because normally when we're meeting up, lately it's just been meeting up at funerals. So I was like, hey guys, I am tired of us meeting up at funerals. Let's meet for a Sunday of worship and break bread. Following service yesterday, we had our Thanksgiving luncheon. So it was really good for these guys to come, have on their Auburn gear. As a matter of fact, let me just go ahead. I'm going to pop this picture up if you're watching on YouTube. These are my guys right here. So glad to see guys. Steve Wallace, Brian Smith, Mark Rose, Bernard Ogletree, the brother of Craig Ogletree, John Wiley, my man Pearson there, of course, Chet Williams, who spoke. It was just really good. Danny Robinson, having these guys in the house and just spending time. Let me see, that's G-Rob, making sure I'm calling out all of the names of the guys who just came repping their Auburn gear and spending time worshiping at church, then also just spending time and breaking some bread. So that's why today we're going to be talking about visiting old friends. When was the last time you visited an old friend? And when I'm talking about visit, I'm talking about really sit down and chop it up, as they would say. I mean, a lot of times we see our friends in passing, and just like a lot of my old teammates, I'll see them, and we give the high five or the pound fist bump. What's up, man? How you doing? You doing great? And you keep it moving. But you know what? I'm talking about when was the last time you really reconnected with an old friend and really found out what was going on in their lives? And what I'm going to do real quick, I just want to share with you three benefits of revisiting old friends. Number one is this: you're going to sit back and reminisce about some old memories. Now, if you think about some of you right now, just thinking about some friends that you hung out with, whether it was in high school, college, in your old neighborhood. And right now, I see you. You are smiling. You're laughing right now because you're just thinking, man, we used to have some good times together. So when you get with an old friend, what it's going to do is going to bring back some memories. And of course, people, oh, you're living in the past. No, we're talking about you're just going back through your journey of life and being able to talk about some great times you all had together. And here's the thing, just by you being able to connect, being older, you're going to find that it's going to open you up to having more deeper conversations. I mean, when you were young, what else could you talk about more so than Hot Wheel cars or playing ball or sports or girls? But man, when you've lived a little bit, it tends to open you up to talk about more of some life issues. Also, it also shows you how far you have come as individuals, man, just how much you have grown. Uh, on the podcast, you already know, we talk about what faith, life, and you. So I'm going to always drop a scripture. So I'm just going to tell you that. You already know. And I want to share this from Proverbs 12:26. It says this: a righteous person use caution in friendship. Now, that can be a full message right there in a sense of as we've grown older, all of us have become very cautious in a sense of how we select our friends and the people we hang around. But you can look back and, of course, you have friends you started out with who later on became haters, but you're also going to have that group of friends who, you know what, you've always been friends. You just lost contact. You just got busy with the things of life. You may have moved to different places, so you don't really have a lot of time to spend together. But I want to just put it on your conscience to do something in a way of saying, I'm going to reconnect with an old friend, even if it's a phone call. Being at this age, getting older, it's just time for a lot of us to just reconnect with a friend, man, and just have some open conversation. So number one, talking about those old memories. Number two, you'll find out that when you reconnect with an old friend, guess what it may do? It may humble you. And what I mean by that, because you're going to sit right there and remember. I know I was sitting at the table today, yesterday, and we just got to recapping some stuff. And guess what? It was very humbling because a lot of us just looked back and thought about how much we used to be knuckleheads together and the dumb things we did. So just by spending time with old friends, it brought to the forefront of, man, how far we have come. You'll be able to look at your life and just how individually how you have improved as a person. It's also going to make you very humble because you're going to look back and say, man, I remember when I was so crazy or wild. And man, look at us now. I mean, through all the challenges of life, through all the successes, the ups and downs, we are still here and we're still friends. Number three, old friends may also bless you. What do I mean by that? You know, when you really start having, as they say, below the gum line conversations where you're just done talking about surfacey stuff, you're able to really talk about what God has done in your life. You're able to inspire one another. It was one of those things that having a lot of my teammates sitting down at this church that I pastor, I know it was tripping them out because they're looking like, D-Rock, a pastor of a church? And I'm sitting right here having a love for these guys like, man, you know what? I want these guys to know how much I love them. It's one of those things that you would not do when you were younger because you had such an ego. But now I want these guys to know how much I love them, that if I never see them again, they know that D-Rock genuinely loves them. And also above that, I want them to know how much God loves them and that they are never alone. So being able to have that time of sitting down with old friends, it's going to bless you because you're going to be able to inspire them and they're going to be able also to inspire you because you're going to have, as I said, some deep conversations. You know, the conversations we have now are very heartfelt because now we're talking about how we used to know each other parents, but now loved ones are gone. Life changes have taken place. And now just being able to talk about that with someone who you have known for a long time, so you know that there's a trust factor there, man, it's just good to just be able to have that freedom, that safe space of being able to talk to someone who you know that you can trust and really open up and, as I say, filter with. So here's what I want you to do. I'm not going to make this long today, but I just want you to tell you how it was such a joy for me to spend time with so many of my former teammates from Auburn University. If you guys are watching, thank you guys so much for coming to the Connection Church. It was so good. And listen, we need to do it. We're going to do it again. I'm just going to say that. But to all of the listeners of the Grow Podcast, this is what I want you to do. I want you to look up an old friend and reconnect. Now, let me go ahead and say this. Use wisdom. I didn't say some hater. I didn't say someone who you want to get back at and you want them to know how successful you are. Come on. Be wise, be smart. But that old friend who you just haven't talked to in a while, stop saying, I need to get to it. Oh, man, I need to do that. Oh, I'm going to do it Saturday. No, do it today. Go ahead, dial that number, hit them up and just say, hey, brother, sister, I've been thinking about you. How are you doing? So look up an old friend, reconnect, and let those old stories humble you and bless you. Well, listen, that's all my time today on the Grow Podcast. You guys already know. You know what I'm going to say? No matter what's going on, No matter what may be going on in your personal life, here's what I want you to do. Let's go, let's grow, and as always, let's keep it moving, people. God bless. Bye-bye.